Everyone knows this can happen this time of year.
It just came out of nowhere. Literally, it went from sunny outside to pure hell.
In the mad dash to take cover, the storm took cover away.
It blew our tent, snapped it in half.
Ramel Martin tore down early.
What I didn't want to happen, it was going to flip and hit pedestrians in the head, so I just broke it down.
350,000 people visit the Cherry Creek Arts Festival, and Colorado storms are no stranger.
And for right now, it's business as usual. You can see people are still walking around and the artists are in their covered tents.
Stephanie Blake says the festival activated their severe weather plan.
Our number one priority is always safety, and if that becomes an issue, we'll be sure to do what we need to do to keep people safe.
A few miles down Cherry Creek, a suspected lightning strike lit up a power line. Flames crept closer and closer to a live fuse.
When there was just a loud pop and an explosion.
Jack Higgins, phone ready and rolling, captured the blast on camera.
Jumped back. It was shocking, no pun intended.
Now it's time to clean up again. Denver's no stranger to Colorado storms.
That's it. That's what happened. Mother Nature's no joke, man.
Mark, that's precisely what you're seeing, and what you're seeing is a lot of the smoke that really obscured our view earlier in the day, and the smoke is blowing towards Pikes Peak. So unfortunately, what it also does, it burns back on a number of these homes, and we've seen a couple of these homes actually burn within the last few minutes. But it does give us a viewpoint of the Mountain Shadows area of Colorado Springs, and I got to tell you, this is a wide area with a number of homes, and I can see some flashing lights in the neighborhood in front of me, but this is just one of those situations. It's a very tragic situation for a number of people living in Colorado Springs. This is a fire that's going to be long remembered in this area simply because of the number of homes that were lost on this day. I can't give you a precise number of homes, but I can see at least 3 or 4 structures burning right in front of me right now, and this fire continues to burn. The good news, if there is any good news, is that the winds have died down quite considerably. Again, they're blowing to the west. And we're seeing the temperatures drop, and actually you can feel a little bit of humidity in the air. But this is sort of the Mountain Shadows area. We are north of Garden of the Gods, and sort of if you come off of Woodman, off the interstate, and you go to the west, this is what you would see directly to your west, this mountainside on fire, and it continues to burn. As I speak again, I see a number of flashing lights in the neighborhood. Gives you the indication that firefighters are in this neighborhood. They're really trying to do their best with what they can, but there's just so many structures that are burning right in front of our eyes, right in front of their eyes.
They say familiarity breeds contempt. But to hear an Ethiopian immigrant named Abeba Woldemichael tell it,
it's like a nightmare for me.
Familiarity merely breeds fatigue.
Yeah, it's very sad for us. It's very sad.
It was a little after 4 in the morning when it hit her.
I heard the lady screaming, "I'm stuck here. I can't go out. I am stuck here."
That lady got out, Abeba got out, everyone got out.
We didn't take anything.
About the only thing she escaped with, a feeling of deja vu.
Yeah, this is our second time.
Last time it was Building K, October 2010.
We lost everything.
It all happened so quickly back then as well. 18 months later,
and I thought it was a joke.
Abeba's daughter got the call. Building M was on fire. Mom's building, the one they moved her to after the fire in neighboring K.
I feel like it's like I'm dreaming, you know? Like I still couldn't believe that this happened. And it is what it is, you know?
2 times in a year and a half. 2 times of having to wonder what to do next.
I don't know. We have families here, but I don't know. We didn't decide yet.
No, it's not contempt she feels right now.
Yeah, it's like a nightmare for me.
And sadly, familiarity doesn't breed comfort either.
My son, he has to go to school. My daughter, she has to go to school, but we can't.
Chris Vanderveen.
Very hard.
9 News.
You know, we're going to live a long, happy life together.
We remember what we can, try when we might.
This is where it starts. This is where it all starts right here.
And live, hopefully, where we can love.
Oh, we have lighting fixtures.
This is where Nick and Jamie Orchowski
Those are really nice.
plan to live and love
Holy smokes.
and remember what it means to try once more.
She's everything. So she's my best friend. You know what I mean? She's my wife. She's my partner in crime. Oh, she definitely pursued me.
No, you definitely pursued me.
She definitely pursued me. No, yeah.
It's pretty equal.
Yeah, it kind of just fell into place how it did.
Fell into place. It was 2004. No ceremony, no family, just a courthouse and a judge and a promise.
That was one thing that I made him promise me, was that we would have a wedding, because I wanted my dad to walk me down the aisle. And I was like, I don't care how big it is, I just have to have an actual wedding. And we agreed that when he got back, it would happen.
And then 5 weeks later, in the country of Iraq,
attacks in Iraq this weekend have claimed
something else happened.
Then everything changed. Life just got really crazy all at once.
The IED attack left them in a haze. Her eyes tell this story. Jamie Orchowski was not only pregnant, she was now married to a man whose back was so broken that movement below the neck was impossible.
I couldn't talk at the time because I had the respirator still in, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't show, my body wouldn't produce tears because it was still in that spinal shock stage. So I had no way to communicate nor any emotion. So I wanted to cry, but I couldn't.
Clearly, something happened for the better over the last 8 years. Sure, the right arm needs work, but the rest of his body is doing okay.
My spinal cord didn't sever, so I started gaining function back, but they didn't know how much function.
But there's a problem. His recovery is mostly the result of a fluky event during a routine surgery to clean out an infection in his spinal cord.
When she did that, from what I understand, my left leg kind of just shot off the table a little bit.
A little bit.
It was exciting and scary and everything all at once, because I didn't want them to give him false hope either.
So everybody's in my room crying.
Yeah, and he doesn't know
I have no idea what's going on. So.
Doctors warn paralysis remains one bad fall away. It's that tenuous. But with the arrival of Michaela first and Colton second, the Orchowskis say at least they have a future.
Because of his level of injury and stuff, they don't understand why he's walking to begin with.
Which brings us back to their new house.
So you're gonna have your bed is gonna be right here, and Sissy's bed's gonna be right here.
Conceivably, their story could end here. But of course, there was that one thing neither Time nor Jamie could seem to forget.
I promised her we would do a wedding one day. And
I didn't let him forget.
No, she definitely didn't let me forget about that promise at all. She definitely jumped up to the challenge, you know what I mean, and came out shining, for sure.
A promise made on a day long ago, a promise uttered by a man once damaged, but not broken. With her father by her side, Jamie Orchowski got the chance to say, "I choose you," 8 years after nearly losing you.
My thought was, he's alive and he's home, and that's better than my child losing their father. So, it's injury or not, he's here, and that's what's important. I didn't marry him because he could walk. I married him because I love him, and I'm gonna stick by him.
Cherish one another through all.
We remember what we can.
With this ring,
I
pledge my life
I pledge my life
and my love to you.
And my love to you.
and my love to you.
I now pronounce you husband and wife again. Nick, you may kiss your bride.
Absolutely.
We try when we might.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you our newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Nick and Jamie Orchowski.
And we live.
Don't let me fall.
Where we can love.
It means the world to have him standing next to me and still with me. Being a wonderful husband, an amazing father. I mean, he's my soulmate in every way.
For Nick and Jamie.
You're incredible, you really are. I'm extremely proud.
It's how they plan on spending the rest of their lives. together as a team, as partners, and as husband and wife once more. With photojournalist Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.
Do you see her anywhere? No? Oh, she's killing me.
Life is a lot about waiting.
Waiting and waiting and waiting.
The anticipation.
Waiting for my wife, Althea.
The angst.
Oh, come on, Taylor.
And the joy.
Get over here and hug me. Oh my God.
When the moment arrives.
Pretty much day by day.
Lieutenant Jason Walter.
I don't think I've ever been this nervous in my life.
Of the Colorado Army National Guard.
I'm shaking pretty good.
Is trained to be ready.
I'm ready for this.
He's been preparing for a while.
It's from my informant who's on the same plane. It says, just touched down.
Today,
we've been together almost 4 years.
It's time. His time.
We just hit it off right away.
Their time. Their moment.
It's like I'm dreaming right now. I miss you so much.
Really? I love you.
I love you too.
You're my best friend, and I love you more than love you more than anything in the world.
My God, are you serious?
Will you marry me?
Oh my God.
Life is a lot about waiting.
I love you, Jason,
I love you too.
so much.
The excitement.
I never thought it would happen.
The joy.
I guess the most important thing is that I remembered to go to my knee.
And the anticipation of what's next.
You're so awesome. I love you, babe.
With photojournalist Anastasia Bolton.
This is the best day of my life.
9 News.
In life, they were Marines and soldiers and airmen. Yet in death, they are one.
It goes to your heart. What a sacrifice.
No distinction is made here. Those who served are those who are honored.
And it could have been me just as well, you know, as those guys.
Joe Gunnell is 91, served in World War II.
His name is Batz, B. Carl, with a K, and B-A-A-T-Z.
On this day, he is looking for neither a friend nor a relative.
Here it is. Inga, somebody put flowers here.
Oh, really? I'll get some water.
Who would do that? Who would know?
The man who once interrogated German POWs has once again found Karl Batz.
He's a corporal of the German army.
They first spotted Batz's headstone 4 years ago.
Since I was born in Germany, I thought we should put some flowers down here.
And every year since, Inga and Joe have come to Fort Logan on Memorial Day weekend to take a good look at the enemy.
He may not have wanted to go.
We don't know anything about his family, but Americans are buried all over the place. Yeah. And there's one German buried here.
Yeah.
That one German was a POW himself, came to Colorado with tuberculosis. In 1943, he died, and the government buried him at Fort Logan 7 years before the land was to be designated a national cemetery.
I was in Germany. I was very little, but I remember, you know, it was horrible. Bombings every night.
They know the U.S. government could have placed him elsewhere.
Who else would do something like that? Really.
If anyone should be mad, it's Gunnell. He knows too many people here, yet.
My thinking is great. You know, I don't have any complaints about it. I hope that maybe the same thing might have happened in Germany or somewhere else.
Distinctions in life, they figure, don't necessarily need to work against one in death.
It's just a very unique situation, I think.
With photojournalist.
It kind of makes you proud to be an American when you see this.
Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Right off the bat, let's get him. Let's get him. Get him.
If winning really is everything.
Tonight's matchup between the Denver East Angels and your Hansen Hawks.
Then logic suggests losing gets you absolutely nothing.
Watch the ball. Watch the ball.
Keep that in mind as we introduce you.
Got it, girl. Good job. Good job.
To Jess Spanenberg, the ultra-competitive head coach.
Good. Come on. Get up. Balance.
Of the Horizon Hawks.
No, super excited. Are you? Yeah. I love this.
She will tell you
This is your gym, let's go.
she simply cannot lose this match. Not because it's the last one of the season, not because of her team's recent struggles. No,
Atta girl.
this has everything to do with the one thing that's always thicker than water.
Speed.
Blood.
Set up the block cross court so you can go line. You got something in your teeth or your eyebrows messed up? It is a little bit, actually.
Bad blood.
You want me to fix it for you? No, get your hand off.
That's Jessica on the right, I think.
Oh, I think we're completely different.
Ever since they were kids, Jess and Tara Spangenberg have shared smiles, outfits, and DNA.
Ask who's more cocky and conceited. Go ahead.
More cocky and conceited.
I'm more confident.
I think that's Tara on the left.
Next to each other, we're super competitive. We gotta fight for everything.
And not even they can tell who's who here.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't do it 100% of the time. I'll get in shape for the game. Lifelong wellness.
For years, the twins have coached at Juggernaut Volleyball,
Okay, get that hip extension, that's your goal.
a private club that puts out some of the region's best players.
A lot of physical training.
They insist they love each other.
Yeah, of course.
That's definitely Tara on the right. But here, Jess and Tara were never able to compete one against the other.
I didn't sleep last night. Kind of felt like Christmas Eve. Great defense! Hey, win this ball. Beautiful, beautiful.
That ends
Dig a ball now, Ab.
tonight. Tara's East Angels versus Jess's Horizon Hawks. And poor Dad
It's pretty surreal to sit here and watch him coach.
really can't root for either.
Tara can be a little bit calmer, you know, Jess is a little bit more of a hothead, but they take turns.
Which brings us back to the original premise, the idea that winning might as well be everything.
Hey!
If that is indeed true,
Time out, please.
then Jess Spangenberg and the Horizon Hawks lost more than just a match on this night.
Good job, Jess. Yeah, you guys look awesome.
Yet does one really lose when one loses to one's sister? Particularly when one has so much more in common with the other.
She wears her heart on her sleeve, which is a good thing.
With photojournalist
I know who she is and I can see it in her program, so that's pretty cool.
Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.
.850 KOA News Time, 12:02. I'm Joe Chiuro.
Many a midnight has come and gone.
You may want to find a way to cool off this weekend. It's going to be a hot one.
Come and gone without much of a hint of the madness yet to come.
The movie Dark Knight Rises just getting underway at theaters across the metro area.
This midnight was like most.
Tonight, the low is going to dip down to around 68, and currently it's 79.
You know, it was actually like most other nights for us.
We had multiple people in the waiting room, 10 or 15 in the waiting room, I think.
And we were actually on divert status,
Very busy, very crowded.
meaning that ambulances weren't actually supposed to come to our hospital unless there was actually some sort of trauma or critical emergency.
23 of our beds were already taken.
Just a very busy night.
There was simply no way of knowing at 12:37 a.m.
Unit, stand by for a tower.
what 12:38 a.m. might bring.
Permission to start taking some of these victims via car. I got a whole bunch of people shot out here, no rescue.
Just let me know what hospitals you're taking them to so we can give them a heads up.
And he actually had said mass casualty settings.
They're telling me at least 5.
Shots fired over at the movie theater.
Uh-oh, this is actually something very, very different than what we've ever experienced.
This is serious.
What can I do? Where do you need me?
And I think that's one of the things we all said was that we just shifted into gear.
Police cruisers became impromptu ambulances.
Yeah, load them up, get them in cars, get them out of here.
As they sped away from the scene. University of Colorado Hospital's ER, already technically full, received its first patient at 1:06 a.m.
So all we saw was just the police car pulling up into the ambulance bay, and then another one, and then another one.
And I'm like, this is not good.
Sir, unfortunately, no, we're using any available hospital at this point.
My colleagues who've been in war had said it's actually very similar to what you would see in kind of a battleground, actually.
I held a abdomen in my hand and I was like, what in the world is going on?
Do I have everything I need to save this person's life?
The fact that the police brought him in That saved time. Getting them up to OR saved time.
A trauma room designed for 2 patients held 4.
Things were going full gear.
A hallway designed for 0 patients held half a dozen. One patient urged Becky Davis to take care of other patients.
And I'd stop by and I'd tell them, I'm sorry you're in the hallway. We're going to get you, you're going to get taken care of.
Davis, the ER's charge nurse seen in this surveillance photo, was the director of a production without precedent.
It just was a constant work in progress.
And I'm thinking,
Suzanne Sortman,
does the blood bank know? Do I have enough housekeepers? Do I have enough instrument techs?
helped prep 6 operating rooms.
I actually think it's still soaking in. I'll have days and periods of time when I'll say, wow, I can't believe this just happened.
A hospital that normally receives 1 or 2 gunshot victims a week received 15 gunshot victims in less than an hour. This one had shotgun pellets everywhere.
So we had gunshot wounds to the head, to the neck, to the belly, to the chest, people with like guts hanging out.
There was one kid that asked, he had to go to surgery, and I explained to him it was going to be a little bit because, we'd already just sent 4 people to the operating room, and he asked me if he was going to die. And I was like, you're not going to die, you're going to make it through it.
And one by one, doctors, nurses, EMTs, surgical techs, paramedics, people trained to save lives, saved life after life after life.
And I think, the process of grieving has been really challenging for us in the emergency department because we're hardened folks, right? We're used to seeing anything and everything. And I think that night has kind of broken a lot of us in a way.
Why? I think that's the biggest question for me is why.
Why?
Copy. All available units respond to the theater.
Every patient brought to university's packed ER with a pulse left with a pulse.
It's the only reason I come back.
A miracle happened that night.
Madness undoubtedly followed midnight that night.
No more nights like that.
I will remember that night forever.
I don't want to experience that again.
No, nothing I ever want to do again.
Yet here they also learn
Notify all the hospitals.
that one's response to it
This will be a forever thing.
is how a life in medicine
This doesn't go away.
is often measured.
I'm extremely proud of what the University of Colorado Hospital did that night.
With photojournalist Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.